James from Junkyard Fox, thank you so much for joining me. We are camping out here in beautiful Arizona, doing a little bit more primitive camping than what we normally do, and it is summertime, so changes in my EDC have happened. Not only that, but it's not only just the usual Cuervo and I camping. We do have two friends that are joining us, and you know, they're gonna give their EDC setup as well. I think that would be a nice change of pace. Once again, it's summertime, so you're gonna go a little lighter, and two, we're gonna do a little bit more primitive camping. So I didn't want to be as bulky as I normally carry my stuff in the city or, you know, in my comfort zone. So a little bit of the stuff has changed. So we're gonna give you a rundown on that. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started. Okay guys, so first things first. Now once again, this is, you know, the month of June and we are camping in Arizona. It is gonna be very hot. The sun is very strong. So you gotta protect yourself from the elements. So I am wearing my very ugly cowboy hat, as it's been called many times. Yet not, you know, it's not gonna be the prettiest thing. It won't be winning any beauty contests, but it is functional and it protects me from the sun's rays or other uses. At night when I lay down, I actually put all my EDC contents, my flashlight, my knife, all that stuff in here, you know, so it's just ready to go right away. So yeah, just this cheapy little straw hat I got a few years back, and you know, it could take a beating, and it's yeah, reliable. Once again, many of you guys know I hate confining feelings, so I hate wearing it, to be honest, but it is useful, pragmatic. So I am using my hat. Okay, moving down over here, once again talking about protection from the elements, I am using some sunglasses. Once again, just like a hat, I don't particularly like the feeling of wearing them, but you gotta, you know, get past that and protect yourself. Particularly me, I have 20/10 vision and I get headaches with sunlight for extended periods of time, so it makes sense to carry some. I probably not use them as much during camping, but when I'm driving and stuff like that, they're very useful. And they're, I don't know what brand, I bought them at Target for like 20 bucks, by the way. So there you go. And then of course, notepad and pen. I'm a complete dork and I carry this every day, you know, whether it's making grocery lists, to-do lists, future ideas for certain videos or some creative endeavor. Keep in mind, I don't always do Junkyard Fox stuff. I have other concepts and ideas that I want to work on. I'll sometimes sketch. There's a sketch of some future upcoming project. So yeah, I always carry a notepad and I'm always either drawing or writing or something, trying to stay creative and organized. And of course, a pen. It's always useful when you're doing errands in the city. And then moving down, I have my watch. This is the Timex Weekender, I believe it is. Very simple watch. I like it, very, very handsome. Without being overly elegant. I don't particularly like overly elegant things. I think I like simplicity, and you know, it has the earth tones that match my clothes, so you know, I'm in style out here. Okay, moving down to the belt. Now this is the biggest change. I have been carrying, and many of you guys have seen it practically every single one of my videos, that I carry a magazine pouch on my belt that carries my Swiss Army knife, my lighter, and my flashlight. Well, because it's summertime and because I knew we were going to be primitive camping and we're going to be quite a ways from our vehicle, I actually left it at home. And because of that, I'm actually using this pocket in my jeans for my flashlight and my lighter. And I'm actually really liking this. I might actually keep this whenever I don't need the Swiss Army knife or stuff like that. So, for my main ignition source, I have my Exotac Titanlight. And this is a really awesome lighter. I mean, this thing is just bomb-proof. Butane. Now, we just filled it up, so I'm careful not to catch my hand on fire, because if you overfill it, it can do that. But, I mean, this thing is just really good, really reliable. Made in the US. And we do have a video coming pretty soon. We're just waiting for a really good thunderstorm for what we have planned. But, yeah, really enjoying this lighter. Really impressed. So, there's my main ignition source. And then here is my flashlight. This is the Thrunite T1. I just received this last week, so I don't have a lot of experience, but I mean, I gotta say, I'm really impressed by it. At first, I didn't like it. It is a little chunky, so I don't like it in my pocket. It wasn't fitting in the pouch that I normally carry, the one that I left at home. And being this chunky, I hate things in my pockets. I hate this. I think it's ugly and it's uncomfortable, but once I figured out to put it here, I mean, I really started enjoying it, and it's just really cool. So I'm going to be testing it, and we'll have a review coming pretty soon. So yeah, that's my main light source for EDC. There we go. Moving on. Now back here, I am rocking the Hidden Woodsman belt pouch. Now, it is no secret, I love the belt pouch. I love all Hidden Woodsman stuff, but the belt pouch happens to be my favorite. It's such a simple device, but you know, when I'm on my way to a campsite or I'm hiking or something like that, it's very convenient for me to gather tinder sources, pine pitch, that kind of stuff, and just have it ready. So whenever I do get to my destination, I already have grass on me, or you know, whatever the case may be. So I really like it. I have a small collection of them, and really cool stuff. All right, moving on to the other side, my back pocket, butt pocket. I have my cotton bandana, you know, just for hygiene, whatever the case may be, wiping my hands, removing a pot from the fire so I don't burn myself. 1,000 uses for a bandana. I got this one at a hobby store. I believe it was Michael's. They have pretty cool designs, so I got this one. And then another change is my knife. Now, this is a very popular knife for me. Many of you longtime viewers know that this is actually my favorite knife of all time, the Morakniv Kansbol. However, I don't normally EDC it on my person every day. It's normally in my haversack, and on my person I carry either my Green River Hunter knife or my LT Wright Genesis in a flat grind. I prefer flat grinds because when I'm at home in Texas, I cook a lot. I'm also doing a lot of hunting and trapping and fishing, so flat grinds are a little bit more conducive for what I like to do. There's not a lot of wood to be carving and you know, making spoons and stuff like that where I'm from, so you know, I don't necessarily need a Scandi grind. Plus, I think it looks nicer, you know, on my belt. To be perfectly honest. You know, the wooden handles and all that rustic look of a Green River or the micarta on a LT just looks a little bit more handsome than rubber and plastic, so I just think it looks good with my belt. However, coming out here with my buddy Shane, I knew that I was going to be learning a lot of like wood carving and bow drill and notches and all that stuff. So this is going to come in handy, that Scandinavian grind. And then I get the best of both worlds because this tapers off into a flat grind. So you know me, I'm going to try to catch and cook something. And if we do, I have that flat grind that's going to help me process. And then the 12C27N stainless steel and the rubber and the plastic are just make it such a very easy knife to carry. Not a lot of maintenance, you know, and it stays pretty sharp. I really like this blade. So yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of wood crafting. So this is going to come in handy. So that's what I'm rocking here. As for my pocket, just a chapstick. Simple. Alright, now moving down to footwear. As you guys already know, I am a cowboy boot guy. And these boots are overdue to get resold again. I just resold them a couple months back, probably January. And yeah, they're pretty beat up, but I mean, I'm also pretty relentless with them, so you can't really blame them. However, next time I will be trying a different brand. These are Justin brand, and I have noticed a fall in quality these last couple of years with their boots, so I'm going to probably try Tecovas. They look pretty good. So yeah, anyway, still hanging on. I still got the spurs. And then I got a backup blade over here. And this is my boot knife. The LT Wright JX3. It doesn't really see a lot of action, to be honest. I mean, normally I have two knives on my belt. You know, whatever belt knife I'm carrying and my Swiss Army knife. And then, of course, I have another knife in my haversack. So this one seldom sees any action. But I always keep it razor sharp for whatever I may need. A2 steel. Micarta handle. It's very small, but at the same time, it's big enough to get work done. 90-degree spine. And that's about it on what I'm carrying in my person. On my person, I'm sorry. And now, let's move on to my haversack. And this is my Hidden Woodsman haversack. Now I'm going old school. This was actually my first Hidden Woodsman haversack I got in 2017, I want to say. Ever since then, I did get the newer, the French trade bag, and I actually love that one a lot more. You know, not a knock on this one. It just, I like the other one because it's a little smaller, a little bit more simplistic, and stylistically I like it more. However, once again, you know, going primitive, I know that I was going to need a certain amount of stuff, so I needed something a little bit bigger. So I'm rocking the old one again, bringing it out of retirement. And I'll just do a very brief summary on what I'm carrying here, so I'm not just, you know, dragging on this video. Okay, so I have, right here, I have my Outxe Powerbank to power our phone, flashlights, that kind of stuff. And it is solar powered as well, so we're going to be trying that out. I have a Streamlight lantern. It runs on AA batteries. I actually don't particularly care for this one. I very rarely use it. I honestly don't even recommend it, but it doesn't hurt to have it as a backup. I have a hobo fishing reel here. We are camping close to a stream. There are some small fish in there, so hopefully we can fish something to cook up. So this would be cool to try out. And then in this napkin, I have an Amora spoon knife. Once again, we're doing a lot of wood carving and all that stuff this weekend, so hopefully we can get some new spoons out of it. So we're going to be trying that out, and I keep it wrapped up since I don't have a sheath for it and I don't want to cut my hand. Let's keep it in this linen. Bahco Laplander. Has pine pitch on it, but yeah. That's going to be my saw for getting chunks of wood. And yeah, I've had this one for about 5-6 years and still going pretty strong. So that's my secondary cutting tool. Bug juice to keep the mosquitoes and flies, the gnats at bay. Head and Woodsmen signal panel. The top to my canteen. Although the canteen is normally in here, it's not there right now because it's drying out. I just ate some ramen for breakfast. A metal spoon, just in case I need it, making coffee or whatever the case may be. My keys. The headband for my Thrunite flashlight, in case I need to have my hands free. And this is a hidden Woodsman, another pouch of his, and this one has like band-aids and antiseptic wipes, that kind of stuff in case you get a scrape. Open this up. Ferro rod with the sheath. Large 6-inch ferro rod to get that fire going. Okay, the Thrunite TH10 V2. I really like this light. It is a little too large for EDC carry, so don't carry it on me. But if I have it on a coat during the winter months or in my Haversad, this one's really awesome. And once again, you can turn this one into a headlamp if needed to free your hands. And then, of course, the Victorinox one-handed tracker. Being out here away from the city, I'm not going to really need a lot of these tools, but it's always there. You guys know that I love this knife. And in case I do need the saw or the, you know, the tweezers or whatever the case may be, it's readily available. And then a backup Bic lighter. And yeah, I left all the other stuff at home, the flint and steel kit, the magnification lens, all those things I left at home because I'm also camping with 3 other people and they all have, you know, several forms of ignition themselves. So I think we'll be fine with that. But yeah, so that's what I'm carrying for my haversack. And that just about concludes my EDC setup. So then let's go ahead and bring on somebody else and they're going to describe their setup. All right, folks, so this is my buddy Shane. We have been friends online for several years. He's a follower of the Junkyard Fox channel, and we decided to, you know, meet up in real life and camp together, and I'm going to learn a lot of skills that he knows that I don't, and I'm going to teach him a few that I know that he doesn't. So, Shane, go ahead and give us your EDC rundown.
All right, so as long as I'm not at work, I'm going to have a Morakniv knife hanging around my neck. Normally it's going to be this one, my classic #1. And this has been my main knife for a few years now, and it's showing its wear pretty well, and it's never let me down. And I also normally wear some kind of necklace. I've been getting into flint knapping in the last year, So right now I'm wearing an arrowhead that I had napped and put a little wire wrap on with a piece of bank line for the neck cord. Right, so now down to pocket stuff. Alright, so if I'm going to be out in the woods or the desert, I'm normally going to have a cotton shemagh with me. I've got a couple of them. I like this one a lot. Bright colors are my preference if I'm wearing otherwise plain clothes. So got a cotton shemagh. Sometimes I'll wrap up my water bottle and carry it in the small of my back. And then starting in my pocket, I have a plastic wallet from Gary at C2G Fab. I've been carrying it for a few years. I don't normally carry cash, but if I do want to carry cash, I'll just fold it up and put it under the money band. And then I keep my discount card for the grocery store, a piece of leather for stropping my knives, and a small ferro rod. So in my right pocket, I carry an Opinel number 6 folding knife. I've been carrying this one for a few years. It's very reliable. I don't abuse my knives all that much, so a thin knife doesn't bother me. It gets used a lot for cutting fruit and vegetables when I'm snacking at work. Then back in the other pocket, this isn't necessarily something I carry every day, but I have a small Fresnel lens for fire starting. And it's also good for if you get a splinter or something, you can see it a little bit better. And then I also have a small signaling mirror. Again, if you get a splinter in your eye or something, or if you are in an emergency situation, you can flash a plane or a car, or whatever you want with this. Or if you want to make sure you look good in the woods, you can use it and you can watch while you comb your hair. So then when I'm out, same with the shemagh, I'll normally carry some kind of sparkable rock. I like playing with flint and steel even if I'm not using it to make fire. So this is just a rock that I found out here when we were on our way to camp, and it sparks pretty nicely. Then in my right side pocket, I've got my phone and a piece of paper. I normally carry something with me to write on. Right, so alright, so unlike James, I'm not a boot guy. I don't like enclosed shoes at all. I wear Luna sandals. I don't remember the exact model, but I'll wear them for hiking, camping, around town, day-to-day stuff, pretty much everywhere. They're really comfortable, and I've been wearing some kind of sandal from Luna for the last couple of years, pretty much constantly. And they're just the common Hirachi style, and they're very comfortable. So I also normally will be carrying my keys on me, just on a belt loop, or if I'm out, then I'm going to have it in my bag. And same as James, I do carry a hat here because it is Arizona. The sun's pretty intense. So it's nothing fancy. It's like a $12 Rothko hat, but I'll just wear it to keep the sun out of my eyes and keep the sun off my ears and neck. I also will carry a bandana most of the time. Right now I've got it on my head. Sometimes it'll be in my pocket. Bandanas, as James mentioned, are extremely useful, and it's always a good idea to have one. So next I'm going to go into the contents of my haversack. In town I carry a Hidden Woodsman haversack. In the woods I carry this oilskin. I've had it for a few years and I really enjoy it. It also, in the top flap, has a pouch, and I use this for collecting my tinder. When I'm out walking around with my pack, I'll have it flipped with this side out, and I'll just load it up with cottonwood, bark, or juniper, grass, whatever I want to use for my tinder material. And it's pretty spacious, so you can really pack it full. So the first thing in the haversack that I'm normally going to have is some kind of large chopping knife or a hatchet. This one is the Condor primitive bush knife designed by Matt Graham. It's a great knife, and I really like the sheath. You can tuck it into your belt, just with this little loop or a piece of leather on the front there. This is more of a recent addition. I've taken up flint knapping in the last year, and I keep some knapping tools in my bag when I go out now. Same as James, I've got a hidden Woodsman signal panel. I use this on my lap to catch flakes and such. A light billet, just for breaking off larger sections of the rock. A copper-tipped pressure flaker, or ishi stick. This is how you sharpen your arrowheads and shape them out more. And I've got a hammerstone. I don't need to carry a hammerstone. It's not hard to find a smooth, round rock, but I brought one just to bring one. Then I've got a couple of pieces of leather. When you're pressure flaking, you usually do it in your hand, and you want to make sure you're not going to be sending shards of glass or rock or whatever you're knapping into your hand. And the pressure flaker, also with its hard point, can be kind of irritating. So the leather is a good thing to have to keep your hand from being cut. And then the last couple things I have in here are a small abrading stone. It's just a soft piece of rock that I use to grind down the edges of the rock or glass before I start taking flakes. Helps even things out. A small piece of antler tine, just from a deer antler. I use these for your pressure flaking as well, or making your notches in your arrowheads. And then I've got just a couple small pieces of glass in here for knapping. So that's it for the knapping kit. I also carry a Bahco Laplander Saw. I've had mine for 4 or 5 years now, and it's a great saw. I don't see myself replacing it anytime soon. I did almost lose it once, so after that I put a piece of orange paracord on the end so I wouldn't lose it after that. I also carry a Thrunite flashlight, the Archer 1A V3. It's a good little light. I used to carry it every day on my person, but I don't really need to use it all that much anymore, so it doesn't go with me all the time. Sometimes it'll be in my EDC haversack, sometimes I'll leave it at home. Really just depends how I'm feeling or if I even know where it is. I'll also normally carry some form of tape, either electrical tape or a small roll of Gorilla tape, mainly for first aid purposes. I don't normally carry a lot in terms of actual band-aids, so if I get a cut on my finger, I'll just wrap it up in the tape. Electric tape stretches pretty well, so it's good for the compression for that. I have the knee of a cow. I use this as my bearing block for bow drill fires, and we're going to be doing some bow drills this weekend, so I brought this as an example. And because it is very dense, it's a lot lower friction than, say, using a rock with a divot or a piece of wood for your bearing block. And then I've got a small bottle of bleach for disinfecting water, 2 drops per quart. I've got a Sharpie for writing. It's pretty self-explanatory. I have backup batteries for my flashlight wrapped in a little bit of electrical tape. A small ceramic sharpening stone. My char tin, it's loaded up with char cloth right now, and a striker. I don't always carry the striker because I always carry a carbon steel knife, but it's nice to have if you need it. And then a little bit of orange paracord. Orange makes it easy to see, and this paracord I've used from the same brand for my bow drill bowstring. So I brought it out because I know it's good for that, and it's cordage. You can use cordage for a lot of things. So that's pretty much the contents of my bag. My day-to-day EDC is very light, just my knife, water bottle, wallet, and necklace. So I hope you guys liked it.